Black Westchester exclusive here.
Yes, yes, yes. So we have Kenneth Chamberlain Jr. possibly running for mayor of White Plains. Have you made your decision on whether you're running or not?
Well, right now, as I said before, we're in the exploratory phase right now. We're looking at all the avenues right now in terms of the feasibility of my candidacy. So we have not made a decision yet. I'm meeting with election attorneys and a few other people that are in my inner circle, and then I will make a decision, a formal decision. And if I do decide, everyone will know because we will hold a press conference.
Okay, okay. And where are we at with your case? I understand the last motion has been filed or something? Or?
Yes, the City of White Plains has filed their last motion to dismiss. Yet again, they are trying to get the case thrown out, claiming that the entire case is just frivolous. But each time they've tried to get it thrown out, the judge has denied them each time. So I'm very confident that they will deny them this time as well. And this is the last time that they can file that motion, which means they have to be prepared to go to trial after that. And I welcome that chance for us to have that day in court, something that my father wasn't allowed or permitted to have.
Now, it's been 4 years. Now, how does it going to feel to finally be able to know you're finally going to be able to go to court? You're finally going to have an argument in court, like you're going to be able to present the case.
It feels great because what I'm really trying to do is to get people to understand that if we're going to affect any type of change out here, you have to fight. You have to fight this injustice system. I always speak about the rule of law. The rule of law says that the government, its agents and officials are to be held to the same set of rules that enables a fair and functioning society. We are not seeing that. These things are happening to minorities on a consistent basis. I mean, I'm here with you right now at a Know Your Rights forum, and I'm listening to a lot of things that's said, but one of the main things that has to happen is that legislation has to be passed. We have to get out there and we have to exercise our rights to vote. We have to put people in office who are really going to hold law enforcement accountable. Training is fine. All of that is great. But the bottom line is that you have to have people in place that are really going to charge these officers if it's found that they've committed some type of criminal act. So again, I welcome this opportunity to go to trial because at least we can now set some type of precedent.
Now I know in White Plains they were fighting for more persons of color in the leadership positions in the police department. And I think I read somewhere on your website or something about looking for those type of leaders that are going to make that change. Is that what inspired you or encouraged you to consider running for office?
You know, it's just me looking at leadership on a whole right now. Most of the leadership of the people out here who are calling themselves leaders, I've found that they are more concerned with position than they are purpose. I always tell people that's the difference between a boss and a leader. Bosses delegate. Leaders show you how it's done. So I want to be a leader. And leaders, they not only talk the talk, they walk the walk. And I always say that while it may be an honor and a privilege to have that title, being a leader is something that you have to earn. So you step out there and you show the people how it's done. Because you have a lot of people that don't know what to do, how to take steps. I'm in the process of trying to open a social responsibility department at the Urban League of Westchester right now. We're looking for people to back us, to fund us, so we can have the resources available for the people out here because they need it. They don't know what to do.
I tell you every time I see you, I give you all the credit in the world because I don't know if that was my dad. You know, you not only are handling it responsibly, but you fighting for justice, not just for you, but for everybody who's dealing with that kind of situation. And that takes a lot. You know what I'm saying? That definitely takes a lot. So I give you credit for that.
Well, you know, I thank you. But again, I always say, and you hear me say this all the time, I don't do it for praise or accolades. I don't do it to walk down the street to hear people yell my name or anything like that. I do it because it's in alignment with my values. I do it because this was my father's life he took. And I always tell people, don't look at Kenneth Chamberlain Sr. as just being my father. He could have been your father, could have been your uncle, your brother, your cousin, your friend. So what would you do? Would you just allow this injustice to happen, or would you speak out against it? And many of us, we've been so conditioned, or we have this, I always say this Stockholm syndrome. We begin to side with our abusers, so when these things happen, we don't do anything. We just accept it as part of the norm. And we have to begin to not just ask for the change, but we have to do more than that. We have to demand that change takes place. And so if me running for mayor of the city of White Plains, at the very least, it's going to create a power base. I'm going to force you to talk about the issues that are affecting the communities that I live in and the communities that I serve. And again, at the very least, we'll get that dialogue going, and you'll have to address some of our issues.
And lastly, I don't know if you can talk about this. Someone we all know has just moved up from DA to the Court of Appeals, and you've been very vocal about that person.
Well, we're talking about Janet DiFiore being at the New York State Court of Appeals. I will simply say that when my father was killed, she promised a full and fair investigation. She then came back in May of 2012 with no true bill, no indictment in the killing of my father. So we know that the grand jury is a secret proceeding, so we don't know what was presented. But when the question was asked about the racial slur that was hurled at my father minutes before he was killed, she did not deny its use, but she justified it by saying that it was used as a tactic to distract my father. Now, is this really somebody that you want in the highest court in New York State? But she got in, she was confirmed. So, what can you do now? Mm-hmm. Hopefully we'll get a DA now on this local level that will really hold law enforcement accountable. See, because we know that through our investigations and my attorneys doing their due diligence in the killing of my father, that there was no fair and full investigation. Especially when you find out that the officer that shot and killed my father claims that he fired center mass, but yet there was a round 16 inches from the floor. So that's not a center mass shot. It doesn't take rocket science to figure that out. And I've told people we can safely say now that Kenneth Chamberlain Sr. was murdered. And we can prove that he was murdered. So now, what are the powers that be in Westchester County and in the city of White Plains? What are you going to do about these things? And if you're not going to step up and hold law enforcement accountable and do what's right by the people, not just by my family, but by the people, if you're not going to do these things, then yes, maybe it is time for somebody to come into office that's going to be for all the people, not some of the people. So again, like I said, we're in this exploratory phase. And no final or formal decision has been made. But the minute that I have made the decision, everybody will know, especially Black Westchester, because you guys always interview and keep track of my father's case more so than any of the other mainstream media. So I definitely appreciate that.
Any last words for the people of Black Westchester? Anything I didn't ask you?
Oh, I mean, continue to support Black Westchester because we need more magazines and more news people like this because good journalism is unbiased. And I always say that. If you're going to speak about one side, speak about the other side. Put the facts out there and let the people decide for themselves. Don't just lean to one side. That's not good journalism. So all I can say is that if I do decide to run, vote for Kenneth Chamberlain Jr. for the city mayor of White Plains. Right. But other than that, we have a court date probably coming up soon.
We will be
and I'll keep you guys posted on when that court date is. And we have to turn out at these type of court dates. We have to show the judge that we care, that we're interested, and that we're concerned about what's going on with our law enforcement and what's going on in our communities.
All right. Thank you.